Hello fellow humans and welcome to the Madhouse. I'm Josh and today's video is, as I'm sure you can grasp from the titles and the little introduction I put in, the writing habits tag. I don't strictly like doing tag videos, but I was tagged by one of my favourite small YouTubers, the funny, talented and generally lovely person Felice from the Home Alone project. Go and check her out, I'll put her links below. And this one is actually a lot of fun, it's quite pertinent to myself. I love to write, so I thought I'd do it. Here we go. Question number 1 is typed or handwritten, and to be honest this isn't really a question. I always ensure I type everything, and at university that's actually recommended so that your lecturers can read it. Though I am improving my handwriting and I can now do several forms of calligraphy, but it will take me an hour to write a sentence in that way, which is not productive. Number 2 is cursive or printed. While my handwriting is truly terrible and typically looks as though an ant has fallen in an inkwell and then had a fit on a piece of paper, I do cursive, that is joined up, like so. I really should do that, but it just feels unnatural to me. Number 3, show us your favourite pen. I can't actually do this because the pen burst yesterday and the ink went everywhere and I had to bin it. But it was a great pen and it was shaped like a pipe. So I could put it in my mouth and pretend to be Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in Jupiter, my dear Watson, I deduce that, etc, etc. It was a lot of fun and I love doing it, but I can't. But as it is, my favourite pen is now this. I don't know if you can see it, so I'll put a picture of it here as well. It's very good. It's a swan neck pencil. It's designed for left-handed people so that they don't get repetitive strain injury from having to crack their arm over further to write. Number 4, where do I like to write? Well, I like to write here, 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 and I like to write here, but bugger off, I'm writing. There are actually a few more places, but I couldn't get inside them to film it. Number 5. Who are your top 5 authors in terms of authorial style? If you know anything about the sort of books I like to read, this list will not be a surprise to you in the slightest. There is Jonathan Swift, the master of satire. There is, of Course, Sir Terry Pratchett, unmistakable, and he is truly the only person who has a chance at taking Swift's satirical crown. Margaret Atwood, she is fantastic. Oryx and Crake, The Handmaid's Tale, her poetry, go and read it now. This one, maybe not so popular, but still good. Audrey Niffenegger, the author of The Time Traveller's Wife, Her Fearful Symmetry, and a bunch of other things. The Time Traveller's Wife has been one of my favourites for years, though I haven't read it for a few as well. And Her Fearful Symmetry, brilliant. The way she conveys her characters and the interesting supernatural themes, we'll call them, although one of them isn't necessarily supernatural, are amazing. J.K. Rowling. While some people may say her writing is unsophisticated, they are wrong. It is truly brilliant. Harry Potter, as everybody knows, is very good. And if you've read the Casual Vacancy and the Cormoran Strike series, you know that they're very different, but there is still that same spark of magic running through them all. And as a bonus, Douglas Adams, just because. Number 6, what are your favourite books on writing? Zen in the Art of Writing by Ray Bradbury. It's quite a good read actually, and it talks about how you have to be passionate about what you're writing for it to be good, otherwise people will pick up on it and know that there's no soul behind it almost. And it will make your writing worse if you don't. There are a few other points covered in it about that, but that one's the big one that I like. Eats, Shoots and Leaves by Lynn Truss. It's quite funny and it looks at the grammar and punctuation of the English language, and it's quite useful. It's not specifically about writing, say novels or something, but it's about how to use a language. And of course, A Slip of the Keyboard by the late Sir Terry Pratchett. This one isn't specifically about writing either, it's a collection of the man's musings and writings throughout the years, but as a successful author he has done a lot of musing on the nature of writing. He talks about how if you want to write science fiction and fantasy, don't just read science fiction and fantasy, because you'll bring nothing new to the genre, you'll just be recycling old ideas. Arrogant. Number 7. Have you ever competed in NaNoWriMo? If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's a yearly writing event which takes place in November, where the aim of the thing is to write a novel or 50,000 words in the space of 1 month. I never took part in NaNoWriMo as such. I did once attempt to write 50,000 words in 1 month, but it wasn't to do with NaNoWriMo, nor was it in November, it was April, so I'm not sure it counts. Number 8, have you ever won NaNoWriMo? Well, if the first one I didn't do it was no, then this one is also no. But for the attempt at writing 50,000 words in 1 month, no, I didn't manage to do it. I got distracted, plainly because Raising Steam came out. That's the most recent Discord book as of now. There are more coming out later this year. Have you ever had anything published? I think there was an anthology that included one of my short stories when I was 6. It was about how Humpty Dumpty got in trouble for sitting on a bubble. Despite it obviously being a piece of Swiftian genius, we never bought a copy, for which I am incredibly grateful. I am considering self-publishing some of my poetry, and some early drafts of my fantasy series can be found on Wattpad, but only because I've got no idea how to take them down. If you really want, you can go and take a look at them below, but they're not good. Number 10, what projects are you working on now? I am writing a series of 6 fantasy novels around the ideas of gods as people, and how the greatest evil will ever have to face is that which comes from within. There is also a sci-fi series of presumably 3 books, I'm not sure, I haven't worked out all the details, about the development of artificial intelligence and teleportation and the impacts they would have on society. There's a comic vampire novel and the germ of an idea around a historical novel. I'm not going to tell you anything more about that one because it really is just a few random notes I took the other day. I haven't had the chance to work with it yet. Number 11, what is your soundtrack to writing? You can check it out on Spotify down here if you want to. I'd like to think it's quite good. The choices won't be so surprising once you know that I'm a science fiction and fantasy writer above all else. Well, there's a lot of choral pieces and classical pieces. There's some Ghibli soundtracks and a lot of Hans Zimmer. There's a few bits and bobs too, but I really like it. Number 12. Do you have a writing pump-up song? The answer to which is most definitely yes. I'll see if I can't play it now. It's Sperinalium by Thomas Tallis. I first heard of this from Sir Terry Pratchett. He said he wanted to die listening to it. And it's truly beautiful. He said that it could take even the staunchest atheist one step closer to heaven, and he was right. When I listen to it, I feel as though I'm getting divine inspiration for my writing ideas, despite not believing in it. It's beautiful. That's enough of that now. And now for a bonus question of my own creation. Do you have any food that you like to eat while writing? There is pizza, instant noodle things, pot noodles, and ice cream. Anyway, that's it for this week. Since this is a tag video, I'll tag a few people. I'll tag my good friend Raven, who should be setting her channel up any day now. And I'll also tag Chris from Chris Vigilante Reads. He's quite good. Give him a shot. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and also please leave a comment below telling me what you think. Tune in next week for another installment from the Madhouse. Cheers!